This is what he's been telling us since 74. Since he he didn't even want the position. He was forced under the threat of death to take the position. That in of itself should be enough to give him some reprieve. And Don Dirk tell the story on he was either on Vlad. He was on one of them podcasts, and he told the story. He was there, and they was like, "Larry, these dudes say you their leader, whether you want to be or not. You can't shirk tribal responsibility. You bring the whole tribe down on your head." But when they got you thinking that it's something other than tribal, then the government can manipulate the story. Remember Malcolm said the media will have you thinking that your worst enemy, your best friend is your worst enemy. Media manipulation is all it is.
Well, I'm glad you listened. I'm glad you listened and studied and read and absorbed all that you did and continue to do that. It's become a way of life for you.
I tell you, if I known how to be doing all this social media, I wouldn't have did
it. I know people.
I hate social media.
Some folks in the chat have said they want to get in touch with you, but I know the only way they can get in touch with you is via social media. You have a YouTube page. They can DM you in YouTube, but there's no email that you give out or any website. So you'd have to go to. And do you have an Instagram or TikTok?
Yeah, the Instagram is a SikApe. I haven't did anything on TikTok yet, but I'm thinking about moving over there because I've been shadow banned on Instagram for over a year.
Oh, really?
They had me banned on Facebook for 2 years before they let me do a live.
Wow.
So when they blocked me out of Facebook, I went over to Instagram to do my lives.
Mm-hmm. So now
then they blocked me out. Yeah. Then they blocked me out of Instagram and they forced me back to Facebook.
Well,
so I'm thinking about picking up TikTok because that's a whole nother niche.
Yeah, it is. And you got these little. I see you on TikTok sometimes, but people take, I guess, a little excerpt from your Instagram and then they put it on TikTok because that's some of those reactionary videos, and it'll be, oh, that's right. I've seen you on there, but I know it's always with somebody else making the, publishing it. So yeah.
Said, they did some amazing stuff with the information I put out. They made AI animations and all kind of stuff.
Oh, really? Let's say Denzel. No, sorry. Yeah, Rod Hayes. Yeah. So okay. We added a little 20 more minutes, and Twitter is supposed to have more freedom. They show crazy things there. So do they have videos actually? I guess you can actually go live on Twitter. Somebody saying,
I don't know. I have a Twitter account, but I don't use that.
X or whatever it's called now. I believe it's called X.
Yeah, it's called X now.
Yeah. So yeah, check them out. As many places as you can show up, get this information out, and I know that people will be enhance their lives, and the knowledge will be. Oh, spell SikApe. Do whoever see it on the screen? I don't know if you're just listening, but for PayPal, if that's what you're asking, it's SikApe01. Yeah.
But Instagram is the SikApe with no numbers.
The THESIKHPE. I mean APE. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay.
On Facebook is just Rod Hayes.
Okay. Yeah, that one's easier. All right. So, okay. Well, listen, we're going to go. And like I told you, I'll be back on Friday with Grand Chic. And for those of you who come to my launch on Saturday, I'd love to have you there. Learn about some stuff that's going to help you feel and look better, So I'm being the poster child for it at 70. So, okay. Well, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And we are going to go. He's gone. See that, y'all? So thank you for being here. And see you on Friday with Brand Chic. How's that? Yeah, we going. Did you leave? Did you come back? Oh, I thought you left. You popped out. All right.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes. Okay. I'm not gonna make you stay up all night and talk to me for 4 hours. So you come back.
Okay,
again.
Dr. B.
You
All
need
right.
your
It's been a
rest.
pleasure. It's been a pleasure having a conversation with you, and we're gonna do it again when you're ready.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
Have racism before 1492. Everything that you see belligerent, when I say belligerent, I mean that it's against the nature of who we are. Everything you see that's belligerent to us as a tribal people came after 1492. We living in a foreign construct. We living under an occupied territory occupied by foreign forces masquerading as the people of the land. We didn't sign them damn treaties. I don't see Chief Little River on none of them treaties. I don't see Chief Running Bear, Chief Standing Bear, Chief Black Bear, Chief Red Hawk. I don't see none of them names on none of them treaties. Who the hell signing them? Our names was tied to nature because we was tied to nature. We didn't take on other names until foreigners came and imposed their concept of our culture on us the way they want us to express ourselves. When they tell you something is pagan, that means it goes all the way back to Pangea. That's what pagan means, right? When they call a woman a witch, they saying she a wise woman and you can't run that shit on her. But we don't know this because they villainize words through negative press, right? Before gangs was bad, we had our gang known as the Little Rascals. Gang mean tribe. Look it up. Do the etymology. Gang mean tribe. They just use it and attached it to every nefarious act of warfare going on in the hood to make you think that the tribes is not the tribes. We ain't never went nowhere. They bust us up. We reconstituted. It's just like when you what's them robots when they break them apart, then they all form back together again. That's all we did. We transformed in front of their face. We got the same symbols we've been had for thousands of years. That's how we identify each other. You ain't gonna join no so-called tribe or gang, or whatever they want to call them, that doesn't hold fundamental values that you can relate to. That's the allure, the attraction. The tribe have to move according to how the tribes always move. Crip walking ain't new. It was remembered and reperformed. All Crip walking is Tookie walking with the chains on his ankle through the death row, dead man walking, crooked man on the lane. You see, they didn't electrocute him because that shit wouldn't have did nothing but made him stronger. So they froze him in Area 51.
Woo! We about to go in now, buddy. We about to go in. So now, what you just said, I love that. What you just said, where does that play into the demonic so-called, I guess, power or extraction of power that some of these other beings or these people, like for example, the Skull and Bones Society, don't they have like the real skull and bones of, was it
it was Geronimo. It was Geronimo's skull and his femur bones.
Yes, sir. Can you kind of break that down into where we about
the
to go?
Skull and Bones came over here as pirates. The Skull and Bones came over here as pirates, and their counterpart is in I think it's Oxford University, is called the scrolling key. The scrolling key is the law and the key to the law. What we call it legalese today. That's the law, and the key to the law is understanding the. If you go to a law book, it'll show you in each case you read something called the law key. It's going to explain the law. So this who George Herbert Walker Bush was the highest ranked member on the Western Hemisphere, and that's why his ass got fried.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they're the ones that made the CIA too, is that correct?
Yep.
Okay.
They made it was called something else before that. I think it was because it broke up into two factions. One of them became the CIA, the other one became the FBI.
Yep. There you go. The alphabet board.
I think it was called like the SAS or the SSO or something like that. State Security Organization or something like that. Right. But they always been here.
Right.
They've been here since Columbus came. Right. The story of the colonies don't start to the 1600s. We've been fighting this war. We was fighting this war in the 1500s. Let that sink in.
Yeah. Yeah. That's deep. And you know, I'm gonna tell you, like, in preparation for this show, I've been thinking about all different ways of places I want to go. One of the things that me personally, I feel like has been kind of like in my spirit is, of course, 1804. A lot of people don't know the significance of 1804 and the Haitian Revolution. I'm going to kind of switch lanes a little bit, but because I want to kind of try to paint a global perspective, but also tie into historical concepts, right? So when you talk about 1804 and the Haitian Revolution and GINDJAB, Dessalines and Dudley Boukman and all of them who, you know, were the forerunners to lead the victory of that revolution, where do you see, because for me personally, I feel like I'm seeing the real life, like, resurrection of the Jean-Jacques Dessalines energy in Ibrahim Traoré. So like, do you see any like similarities or comparisons into like what we're witnessing when we see what we're witnessing with Burkina Faso right now? And then how does that, if to you, it ties in any way, shape, form, or fashion to 1804?
Okay, the Haitian Revolution is very significant to our liberation. We got to keep an eye on Haiti because the last shall be made first.
And the first shall be made last.
So the revolution that was put together there, we had to look at where did they go after they won? Where did the soldiers go with their bloodlust? Where did the priests go to work their conjure? When you look at the expatriation following the Haitian Revolution, most of the people that left went to two places. The soldiers went to Florida, and the priests and priestesses went to New Orleans. Now, the question is, they just won a revolution, and all of the fighting soldiers is going to Florida, and all of the conjure people was going to New Orleans. What could possibly be the reason for that? Right? Why would they do that? So what was going on in Florida that triggered the Haitians that left the revolution to go to Florida? Gullah War. We was in the middle of Gullah Wars. So why would the sorcerers, the conjurers, the root workers, why would they go to New Orleans? New Orleans, the Big Easy, is the capital of the conjure. It tell you that in all of your horror movies. This is where all of the counteroffensives to these sorcery spells was put into effect to fight back. Most of us don't know that conjure magic in the colonial period was just as big as law writing. We don't know that because we don't study conjure magic because they told us voodoo was evil and you had to be a good Christian. The only ones of us that continue to keep the secrets is AME Church kept them for a long time. They masqueraded as a church to teach the root work in the back. right? And then that's how you got a lot of root workers that matriculated into the church and other denominations. But we was trying to figure out how to fight back the sorcery with sorcery. They didn't want us studying voodoo because to use the practices of voodoo would liberate you from the conjurer John D. Let that sink in.
Yeah, boy. I knew this was gonna be one of them ones. Good. Yeah, this is definitely one of them ones. Man, listen.
Look, I put a post up back in 2019. It said, if they ask you what Rod doing about this, tell them voodoo.
Yes, sir.
I put black girl magic on everything I do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And most sir. And listen, and that's the thing. Like, I always do my best to pay homage to the feminine energy. I meant to do it before we started, but we jumped right in and jumped in hot. But shout out.
We can pause. We can pause for you to pay homage to the feminine energy. I totally support that.
Well, let's do it because we need to take a break anyway. Because you burning down the whole damn YouTube right now. So with that, I did want to give a honor and respect and praises to the mothers, especially in regards to the significance of what we're dealing with right here, from the cosmic level to, like I said, to the planetary level to even the internal level. But the mother, being the cosmic mother, being the mother that gives birth to all things, I wanted to just give thanks. When we talk about ancient Kemet, we talk about Ma'at. We're talking about Aset. We're talking about the mother of the feminine divine, principles, and Ifa. We're talking about we're talking about Ma'at. We're talking about Imoja. We're talking about the Odu. We're talking about Oya, Oshun. It's like Nana Baruku. There's so many different feminine aspects to the Odu. Odu is a feminine aspect to the creation of our people. So we got to give shout outs and thanks to the mothers. Shout out to all my mothers, even the ones in the realm of the ancestors, because without them, we're not here today. And so shout out to also Empress, Verdidici, because without her and the work that she did, I don't know if the significance of what the work you're doing has the same amount of weight and effect, without her laying the foundation and doing what she did in regards to, the ancient ones and Washita. So, and even with Washita, is with that and honor and thanks and Mudupwe to the mothers and the feminine energy with Washita. Is there any connection from Washita to Washington? What is it, if there is? What is that connection?
The name Washington is a derivative of Washita. The Washington last name is carried over from Washita Indian, right? The Shaw last name is the carryover from Shoshone. The Upshaw last name is the carryover from the Upper Shoshone. The Hayes last name is the adaptation of Haya, which is Hayoka, which is a high priest of a specific order that has a specific role to play anytime that the land becomes compromised. We compromised. So now you see a Hayoka, but they think that the name is Hayes. It's Haya. It's Hayes. Hayas. But when you spell it in English, instead of Hayas, right, you spelling it Hayes, because all vowels are interchangeable in translation under Grimm's Law of Grammar. In order for you to get the pronunciation that the translator used, he can change the vowel to put the emphasis on what part of the word should be spoken. I just identified a few tribes for y'all, by the way.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Yeah, this is dope. This is real dope. So now, yeah, this is wow. This is powerful. So now, when we talk about the divine energy, right, and the creation aspects of that, being that we're going through this shift, and especially from the solar level, how does all of this play into us transitioning from this Piscean age into the Aquarian age? That is, going back from the patriarchal control into the matriarchal, cycle.
Okay, so according to the George Washington Challenge, we had 200 years to educate ourselves above the condition, right? So coming up on the conclusion of that is the age of knowledge, the age of knowing. We are transitioning from an age of belief where they gave us stuff to believe in that didn't serve any purpose for us, right? Shout out to our mothers, all the mothers. I'm a matriot, not a patriot. I follow the matriarchy. I'm the chosen one to reiterate the structure of the matriarchy so the women can wake up from the slumber because they more important than anybody else because they the ones that's gonna spark the fire, the light to the new age by them waking up. They mitochondrial resonance is going to cause something called Atlas Shrug. And that's when the earth gonna shake off the parasites.
Listen, and that's what I was talking about Thursday night on that live, is getting rid of them parasites. So in the last segment or section, I forgot, and let me give that shout out. Shout out to Wunam, who came and burned it down last night. She's also a child of the EIME and the IJ. So I want to make sure I give a shout out and salute to those mothers as well, because those are some very powerful forces. So with that, I'm ready to dive back in, Big Rod. So this is dope. So okay, where do we go with reclaiming like ownership and sovereignty over Turtle Island from where we are right now?
So right now we just have to continue to educate the public about what's taking place. And if you pay attention, you will see the transition of power, the old system being dismantled for a new system to emerge. They first have to destroy the old system before the new system power is activated. This is something that's already done. We just have to make public knowledge because the more tribesmen aware, then the more